Friends, good morning. You are all welcome to the Tech web series of webinar seminar. This is day 2. First of all, I personally thank you all for joining this technical webinar and sparing your precious time. This is a knowledge sharing platform. We try to cover this tech webinar with the some of the most interesting topics. We would also like to give your comments by way of message or mail to me at info@ipcaonline.com or at my personal email ID, that is president@ipca.com. Yesterday, I received a very interesting article from Shri Rajiv Bhai Parekh from Mumbai on how the COVID-19 is going to change our business and our way of thinking in future after the lockdown period to be over. It has also highlighted new challenges we have to face in our respective businesses. These challenges may differ from business to business, but it is going to impact us in a very strong way. What is after COVID-19? People or customer who are going to purchase any goods, they will be more concerned about hygiene, more cleaner products, products which are free from bacteria or antiviral products. So Girishji will highlight some of these products also. So we can think and plan our next move by keeping all these factors in our mind. Here I request Jatin Agarwal ji, who is the past president and technology savvy. He is also managing the IPCA Gleaner to post the said article which is sent by Rajiv Bhai Parekh. This article is written by Professor Samish Dalal, who's a professor in SP Jain Global Management Institute. So, friends, we are going to join today's webinar with our most renowned technical expert from Dow Chemical Company, Mr. Girish Bhagwat. Girish Bhagwat is with Dow for last 20 years, and he has presented Dow on many national and international forums. Girish Bhagwat, he's full in charge and of technical developments of all water-based coatings in India. So today, previously he has worked in Asian Paints and Snowsam, India. So I request Girish Bhagwat to start his topic. His topics of today is emerging trends in architectural coating. Over to Girish Bhai. Girish Bhagwat ji.
Thank you, Sagar. You all can hear me well and you can see my screen. So first of all, thanks a lot for organizing this wonderful webinar. Really highly edited, and I can see almost 153 participants by now listening to this talk. You know, in complete itself in 1 hour, so this could okay. So it could be, you know, sort of a beginning of a new start, as Sagarji has said. So while I give this talk on emerging trends in architectural coatings, it's important to sort of, you know, take a step back and look at what all things have happened in the past. So this topic or the talk will cover a little bit. I mean, these are the contents of my presentation. Okay, so this is a topic that I'm going to talk about, the contents of my presentation. Let me speak a little bit about Dow and Dow Coating Materials, what all things that we do together. in terms of, whatever development needs and, product development that occurs across the world. Driving the market by leading the innovation. That is something which is going to be critical as far as, and making some of the new products are concerned. So you have to be able to drive the market. A little bit on evolution as to what all things went. And this is my understanding that I have put. By no means it's going to be complete. So I would request during the discussion, please add anything that I have missed. And as a result, what all things that we see in the market today as innovations, the products that have been introduced by the some of the customers across the world as differentiator. So this is going to be a kind of, discussion which will not specifically focus on, giving you formulating guidelines and all that, but it's a general discussion as to what is happening all around us. Okay. And then thereafter, it could lead to subsequent interactions over email, phone calls, and that we can follow up. So a little bit about Dow. So we have about 113 manufacturing sites across 31 countries and about 160 countries, customers in 160 countries. Our ambition is to become most innovative, customer-centric, inclusive, sustainable material science company. And our goal is to, sort of have profitable growth and best-in-class performance, with, of course, without compromising on our core values, which is integrity, respect for people, and protecting planet. Little bit on Dow Coating Materials. As a part of Dow Coating Materials within Dow, we have about 35 plants worldwide with 2,500 employees. Coating raw materials across the breadth of technologies. We have sort of acrylic binders, number one in acrylic binders, number one in acrylic additives, waterborne additives. Largest commitment to the R&D, to the industry. Back integrated with a reliable supply of monomers. World-class manufacturing, exposure testing. Before we come to the market, we have to do a lot of studies by ourselves, which includes exterior exposure. So we do have exposure sites across the world that helps us generate the data, which is, becoming in today's case. And of course, we have accelerated growth in the emerging geographies like India, of course. So coming to the global capabilities, how do we conduct our innovation? I mean, meet those challenges. So we have core R&D capability on the left, that the bubbles that you see, material science, analytical, chemistry and catalyst, engineering science. These are all sort of, core R&D capabilities, which together along with the technical services folks, through their interactions and product development, generate those molecules like surfactants that goes into surfactants, silicones, coatings, and polyolefins and urethanes. So these are the formulated solutions which are as a result of the core R&D capability eventually satisfying customers across the world. So as you can see on the right, various R&D capabilities and centers, including the TS&D centers that we have all over the world. And you can see now Taloja, of course, is now moved into Juinagar, where we have all businesses put together, 6 businesses and about 75 people. So I sort of use this opportunity to sort of welcome you all whenever you are now. Paint India, of course, was cancelled, and therefore we didn't have that event. Otherwise, we would have had probably many of you visiting our DITC. But in future, that's an invitation open to you all. Yeah, I mean, this is giving just another snapshot of our coating materials R&D capability, and there's a photograph of high throughput machines automated to generate a lot of information in very short span of time. I mean, high throughput ultimately is what? These are all robotic, sort of equipments primarily used in our US and Shanghai. We don't have this capability in DITC, but it's being extensively used for generating a lot of data, which is analyzed and therefore scrutinized to sort of reduce the number of experiments and reduce the time to sort of, get those results out pretty quickly. I mentioned about exposure sites where the exposures happen actually. I mean, these exposure sites essentially would have, sort of exposure racks at vertical 5 degree. 5 degree is something which we practice in India, but vertical to 45 degrees is what generally being used by many of them. And pre-painted panels are exposed and monitored over a period of maybe anywhere between 3 to 5 years. And there is a data generation, photography, automatic pictures that are being taken when the panel reading happens. So the record is not just in the form of readings, but also the pictures. So which is enabling, customers get convinced. Talking about history as to, I mean, all of you know that Dow acquired Rohm and Haas, and Rohm and Haas was a pioneer in acrylic emulsion and most of the additives that you see over here, starting from 1953. When I was in US in college, Springhouse at that point in time, I have seen the panel, which is, almost close to at that point in time when I was there in 2004, it was 50 years old. And I've seen that panel myself. I mean, it has been kept as a historic panel, the first all acrylic binder that ever developed. And it's in the exposure form. So that was something which, made me surprised. I heard about it before I went there, but when I actually saw it, it's nothing that it has been laminated or anything, but just in US, the dirt nuisance is not as much as we see in the tropical countries. So therefore, it's pretty clean. I mean, it's not completely integrated. The film integrity may have got some issues, but 50-year-old panel I saw, and I was pretty excited and happy about to see that. That was, to talk about, Rohm and Haas, sort of introducing the first acrylic emulsion ever to the coatings market. Prior to that was all the conventional glues and starches, etc., that were, or alkyds that were being used for manufacturing coatings. But by developing this unique high molecular weight molecule with a lower viscosity in the form of all acrylic binder, it changed the market perception about how paints will be made in future. So that was a great development in itself. And thereafter, you have seen until now, various people have come up with sort of different acrylic emulsions, sort of being accepted and used by various customers across the world. So really, I mean, once I saw that, I really felt very proud of being associated with Rohm and Haas and now Dow. You just list, you see the list goes endless, like bimodal, the first bimodal part binder, which allowed you to make 60% solids. That was something which was not achievable before. So you have a fine particle and a slightly coarser particle size binder in 2-in-1. It was not used in India by anybody, but I'm just giving this list to sort of give you an idea as to what all happened. Maybe everything is not being used in India, fine, but at least you should be aware. First multi-lobe binder. Multi-lobe, the small particle size acrylic binder that we know, but you need sometimes to sort of achieve better flow and leveling. So the multi-lobe technology, which is basically particles which are attached to each other, maybe 2 or 3 or 4, and therefore it is multi-lobe. And what happens is this allows you to achieve a greater level of flow and leveling. It's conventional HEC kind of, thickeners being used. So that is still in existence in US, not so popular in the rest of the world, but that was the first ever to be developed. First HUR, the polyurethane thickener, as what we know, basically in paint, you have got conventional thickening, which is because of the cellulosic thickener or a ASE kind of thickener. And then you have got associative thickening, which is because of the HURs, which is a polyurethane thickener. The associative thickening essentially will thicken the dispersed phase, which is the pigment particle, binder particle. It will associate, and therefore the networking will result in increased viscosity. Now, this viscosity primarily is a more reliable viscosity to achieve better fluid leveling and film buildup as compared to the conventional thickening, which is happening by HEC or an ASE. So development of a HUR completely transformed the landscape of making premium paints with good fluid leveling and good gloss. So this has been adapted over the years by various customers across the world, and we see a lot of potential of this to happen in India. To name some of the products like Acrasol SCT-275, Acrasol RM825, RM2020, and so on and so forth. First, haze. Now, ASE is an acrylic soluble emulsion, and then you come up with a development which is a polyurethane thickener, HEUR. Now, what if you combine the two, ASE and haze, ASE and HUR? So that's how the hybrid technology haze was developed. It solved many problems customers had while using either HEC or either HUR. So therefore, an hybrid. So haze has been popularly accepted worldwide, including India. DR72, DR110, DR130. These are the products. But beyond this, there are many more, and we are coming up with a new grade for Indian market. It's basically to arrest some of the problems that we face, especially while diluting. This is something that we have found very encouraging based on some of the work that we have done. So the grade name is Acrasol TT935. It said it's quite long, but कभी-कभी होता है ना कि इसकी importance क्या है? Unless you reach a certain sort of stage and discover that, you don't realize the importance. So in our work, we found this TT935 is a damn good molecule. It helps address some of the problems like syneresis, water separation, etc., while diluting the paint, and it works pretty well in terms of giving you good fluid leveling. I'm just going through this list a little bit more detail, and I want to spend time on this slide.
He has just lost the connection. He is reconnecting it. Hello.
Okay.
He is connecting again.
Sagarji, can we suggest everybody to switch on their videos, because that is consuming a lot of bandwidth?
Okay.
Because then it will help in the bandwidth being utilized for the presenter.
Okay. So, as Ashish is saying, please switch off your video. Just listen it. Thank you.
Other than
Sorry?
other than Sagar ji and Girish Bhagwat,
नहीं दिखाई देगा अगर आपका वीडियो ऑफ होगा कारवा जी तब दिखाई देगा आपको सब कुछ दिखाई देगा सिर्फ आपकी फोटो नहीं आएगी मतलब आपका वीडियो बैकग्राउंड नहीं आएगा बस
Correct.
other than Sagar ji and Girish Bhagwat, everyone requests to close down their video. Randeep ji, Dharmendra ji, Ganesh Gangavar, 1, 2, 3, 4, Tulsi Paints, Ajay Gupta, Realme, Ellen Menezes, everyone please close down your video.
एलन की फोटोग्राफ जरा लाइव लग रही है अदरवाइज वो उस पे फोटोग्राफ पे है
Correct, boss. Correct.
it seems you click this in a hotel room so मैंने कहा पहले तो it is looking absolutely live
I was about to say that my camera is off, but then I thought I shouldn't disturb anybody.
So I'm back, guys. Sorry about that. I don't know at what stage did I lose my connection. Can you hear me?
Yeah. Yeah. Please.
Okay,
continue.
good. So am I sharing the screen? You can be able to see my screen?
No,
Not yet? Okay.
not yet.
Could you please share the slide of the agenda, please?
Not yet.
Yeah, I'm just doing that.
Yeah, it is there now.
Is there?
Yeah.
Yes, Girish, we are able to see the slide.
Yeah, I was on Elastomeric. I got disconnected. And please bear in case if it disconnects again, I'll have to keep doing that. Unfortunately, that's the reality. Many people are using internet, and you know, I don't know why it should happen, but I'm just keeping my backup as well by keeping my hotspot on.
Girish ji can you enlarge the screen to the full size
Yeah, sure. Yeah, I'll
thank
do
you
that. Okay, so I was on elastomeric coating. I mean, elastomeric was something that I personally witnessed the development. It was elastomeric 2438 elastine, primal 2438 at that point in time. It went through a series of innovations before we could, you know, reach a certain point, which has got a balance of flexibility and dirt pickup resistance. And today that we have something, you know, which is in the form of Elastine 3762 widely being used by some of the customers in India. It has got reasonably good flexibility and dirt pickup resistance balance. But is that the end of it? No, we are still working on, we want to achieve you know, flexibility with close to about 300% elongation and therefore give you better DPR. And when I say better DPR, it should be something better than AC261. Because AC261 is a kind of workhorse, worked in Indian paint industry for more than 30 years is what my guess is. Because, you know, when I joined Romeras in 2003, in 1995, this was some, maybe in 1990, it was being introduced to the Indian customers. Since then, it still exists. It exists even today. So AC261 is like an industry benchmark. So if I give you a good flexibility and a DPR better than AC261, that binder would be something which would qualify to have a flexibility and DPR both, is my understanding. But that we are sort of very close to crack that problem. We'll come to you once we have the development done. Of course, you all know on industrial and, you know, therefore the waterborne direct to metal sort of applications, we have main coat and advanced technology that has been popularly used. It's not so sort of being used. It's been tested by many customers in India, but right now the cost performance balance is tilted towards, you know, solvent based. Once certain regulations come in, I think it will help to sort of move to water based, and we do have solutions for that. Ropec is, I don't have to talk a lot on that, but it's something which was a historic development that occurred somewhere in 1970s, and since then it's been successfully used year after year by many paint companies. Evoque was something which came latest about 10 years ago, which sort of allowed the formulators to use binder that can encapsulate TiO2 and therefore allow spacing of TiO2. Formashield, I mean, this is like, indoor air quality enhancement, which is being used by some of the customers worldwide, including India, so sort of to improve indoor air quality. Acid suppression technology, this was primarily with the intention to make higher solids fewer. So using acid suppression technology, you could have a sort of a thickener with higher solids and still be able to sensitizer labeling free solutions. Now this was particularly with respect to biocides. At that point in time, we had biocide business with us. We obviously had solutions that could be enabling us to make it sensitizer free. Sensitizers are basically when you sort of hand or anything that exposes human being to the sensitizer kind of materials, like say for example chloromethyl isothiazolone, sort of you over a period of time tends to lose the sense due to the exposure. So therefore these became kind of an area of concern for having them out of the scope for usage. So we had sensitizer free kind of solutions. Paraloid edge, this was mainly for wood coatings. It wasn't, it really didn't pick up any significantly anywhere in the world except US. So this was like isocyanate free, polyurethane, which enabled us to achieve certain performance levels of solvent-based, conventional solvent-based urethane, isocyanate-based. Paraloid and main coat, epoxy. We tried a lot of marketing this product in India, especially for industrial application, flooring application, and it's being introduced. We had a Paint India, Art Lemon giving a talk. So we are seeing some movement around this. It's yet to catch up. Canvera was for polyolefin dispersion for can coating. You see the Coca-Colas and Pepsis and those cans. So inner lining for that is a coating currently, which is epoxy. Now you have an water-based alternative, which is a polyolefin dispersion based, and that to achieve certain legislations in terms of making it safe to use. Durable matte binders, it's also for our manufacture in future in India, which allows you better stain resistance. Radha Krishnan, mute kariye. So it allows you to have a exceptional sort of feeling or touch feeling coating. Whether it's a matte or you could make a formulated product which has got some reasonable amount of sheen, because in India sheen is something that is appreciated. Stain resistance, which is extraordinary. So all those, with a low PVC paint, sort of additional feature is resistance to sort of writing of a pencil, resistance to metal marking, soft to touch. So these are some of the new features added. It's yet to fully commercialize, but in the process of commercializing this in India. Now, what happens after 2020? I mean, Sagarji mentioned about the binder that could help us achieve a well-being. So there's some work going on in the space of antibacterial, antiviral, but it's yet to fructify in terms of having a commercial product in India. But the initial trials are pretty encouraging. We have got a styrene acrylic hybrid. Now this is an extension of styrene acrylic binder, which can allow you optimization of TiO2. So it involves some amount of the technology of Ropec and a styrene acrylic binder being merged together. That's why a hybrid. It's not a physical blend of the two. It's like an in situ polymerization, and that can allow you exceptional level of optimization, something beyond what Ropec has done. We have low VOC water-based gloss in our portfolio that is going to come up. I'm talking of VOC less than 50 grams per liter in solvent-based. Currently, it's more than 250 or maybe even 400 grams per liter. You have to reach to a level of less than 50. Obviously, you need something unique. So that program is also on. Binder from renewable, not removable resource. Spelling mistake there. Renewable resource. So that is something which can allow you to expand the horizon to sort of sustainable coatings and many more areas that that could come up beyond 2020. And as a result of which, you could be able to offer some of the solutions in the form of formulated paints to the customers. Okay, so now I don't think I'll spend too much of time in going into too much of details of each and every slide, but we'll try to sort of finish in next 20 minutes, and then we'll give some 15 minutes for question and answer. So obviously this slide gives you an idea of we have products that goes into making architectural coatings. We have additives like rheology modifiers, dispersants, surfactants, and many more like co-solvents, various things that go into sort of giving specific property for the coating. Then we have industrial coatings, again, not in the form of like a coating itself, but we have solutions to make waterborne industrial coatings, which we'll not talk here. This topic is related to architectural, but just to give you a flavor, industrial wood coating, waterborne road marking, liquid applied sound dampening, which is, you know, sort of going to come in future, especially not for the dampening of sound which is, you know, generated out of sort of like a theater के अंदर जो वो sound का dampening नहीं करना है. It is mainly to do with the dampening of sound which is generated out of friction. So like something in washing machine or railway coach or a car, for example. So those kind of, today currently bituminous coatings are used. Instead of that, we'll have a liquid applied sound dampening which are based on acrylics. Then we have metal coating, can coating. So these are the something portfolio in industrial, and then functional, of course, solutions for paper coating and leather. So these are the areas where we are working aggressively with some of the leading players in Europe, US, and now also to some extent in India. These are the segments, you know, same slide, but in a different way being represented: emulsion polymers, additives, you know, industrial coatings and landmarks. Especially you talk of sustainability, you need certain things that sort of make the coating sustainable. I mean, use less of energy, for example, to achieve more sort of value. So at the end of the day, you should be able to reduce the carbon footprint, right? Sensitizer free labeling, formaldehyde abatement. So these are all greener products. And we'll talk a little bit about that in the slides ahead. So yes, it's immediate. So allergy and sensitizer, now this has come up in Europe, okay, because of the banning of certain biocides. And in fact, they are going and making paints which are biocide free, in-can biocide free, okay. And also eventually it might be even paint film, because they are really going very aggressive in terms of banning use of certain biocides like MIT, you know, chloroisothiazoles. So therefore your biocide labeling is going to be, if you use certain levels and above, you'll have to label this paint as a hazardous paint. So therefore people won't be sort of, you know, easily using that paint. And they have also gone to sort of banning some of the biocides. So in Europe, this is quite aggressively being practiced today as we speak. Of course, because of COVID situation, maybe it has taken a little backseat, but it's going to be there. Ultra low VOC capable binders. I mean, I talked about high gloss with less than 50 grams per liter VOC. So that's something which is, you know, especially for the low PVC paints, a unique thing. You need binders which can form film without a coalescing agent, right? So that's something that is there. Haze and yours with no added solvent. So it should be applying to sort of certain GS11 or those kind of regulations.
यहाँ देखो, यहाँ कर रहा हूँ ना, इस पे क्लिक कर रहा हूँ, ठीक है, ये दोनों दिखा रहा है लेकिन आवाज जा नहीं रहा लोग को.
Okay, so Himanshu ji, please mute yourself. Long lasting exteriors. Now that has been an ever growing need in India as well. Like people want 5 years, 10 years, now 15 years plus warranty in terms of, durability with respect to film integrity and dirt pickup resistance. They want both, and of course waterproofing, etc. added to it. One coat interior. Now with Rajiv ji mentioned about DIY. I mean, people would resist to paint 2-3 coats if it was really a DIY. So one coat interiors could become a kind of a norm in future if a DIY starts appearing on the scene. Pigment encapsulation, like reducing carbon footprint. It's basically Evoque or Ropaque or whatever you can call, which can reduce the titanium dioxide. So titanium dioxide utilizes a lot of energy, to sort of energy and water for its manufacture. So any attempt to reduce titanium dioxide in the formulation can eventually achieve reduced carbon footprint. Now, many titanium dioxide manufacturers won't be liking this, but that's the reality. They come up with solutions which are also, sort of innovative and reduce carbon footprint and all that. But, this is something which is happening over the years, and optimization of TR2 is an ever increasing need and never ending need. And in industrial, yes, we push waterborne to the new levels, introducing new high performance chemistries that can allow you to formulate industrial coatings with performance at lower film thickness. Now, this is an ever growing need, and it's not easy to meet, as we understand, but we have certain solutions which if you apply at a reasonably good DFT of like 80 to 100 micron direct to metal, or even with a primer, that can allow you a salt spray more than around 500, which is something that we have heard as a kind of norm that is required. But everything has to be in a certain cost. So there is where it has got stuck at the moment. Okay, so right. So this slide gives you an idea about what we are doing in terms of making the polymers that can allow you to make a low VOC. So this is an kind of depicting how the film forms. Basically, these are all spherical or various shapes. Emulsion polymer particles eventually has to merge into each other to form a film. It's not a solution polymer like what an alkyd is, where you have a solvent evaporation and cross-linking, which is said by dryers and oxidative polymerization, and it dries. But in this case, the drying is by loss of water and the co-solvents, and therefore subsequent coalescence that will ensure the film formation. Now, how do you achieve that? If the coalescing agent is removed and the co-solvents are minimized, you need to have latex morphology, which is unique. Now, that is something which we are playing with, controlled polymer structure and functionality that can allow you to sort of minimize this use of co-solvents and coalescents. We have some commercial products already available.
Could you please share the previous slide?
Okay. Is this any questions?
We'll get back to you. I'm noting down and we'll get back to you in the evening.
Yeah, please. So it's almost coming to an end. So there are a few more slides. We sort of see the market basically sort of asking for this kind of innovative solutions, and therefore it eventually leads to sort of some of the drivers that we see, which leads to innovation, and innovation at both ends, at the customer's end and at our end as well. More increased demand for functionality. This is one of the innovation driver. Desire for improved sustainability, so sustainable solutions, and increasing environmental regulations. Now, this is not happening in India, but it's going to happen in future. But it's very aggressive in Europe and North America. So this kind of regulations in place, yes, there will be certain needs that will emerge, and continuing need to reduce the formulation cost and improve the efficiency. That is ever growing and ever increasing, and it's required across the world. all this, innovation driver eventually results into some kind of innovations at our end to form solutions that can, sort of we come to you and you appreciate that. You use your own intellectual property, you convert that into a formulated paint and eventually lead the innovation to the market. So that's what something that the slide talked about. This is a slide that I was very much keen to talk, because this is a slide nothing to do with what we are doing, but what I see in India. I mean, in 60s, 70s, 80s, I think predominantly it was lime wash, cement paint, and the oil-bound distempers which were being used, while the world was using acrylic emulsions. Acrylic emulsions appeared on the scene somewhere in 90s, or maybe slightly before that, but that's what my estimate is. And sort of, I think there were acrylic emulsion manufacturers, and there were some backward integrated Asian Paints and some other companies who had emulsion paints for interiors. And I mean, in early 90s or even before that, paints were also being manufactured under licensing Raj. So you were not able to manufacture a lot of quantity by yourself. So all these paints that started appearing after 2000, like luxury emulsions and exterior emulsions, economy interior and exterior emulsions. So this like has set the norm, in the market today. And many of them want to sort of, have a uniqueness in their product against the benchmark, and therefore have unique sort of feature that they talk about, and eventually, have their set of customers loyal to them, be it a large company, be it a second and third tier company, or whosoever. Every customer that we interact with has a product that is unique, and therefore some feature that is being appreciated in the market. So here, subsequent to that, we saw in early 2010, this functionality started appearing, like dirt pickup resistance, indoor air quality. People never talked of stain resistance. It was like ingrained. It was inbuilt. Crack bridging ability. Maybe here and there are okay. So please don't mind. But these special features were being focused and talked about. Waterproofing ability. So what next? Now, what is it that going to come in future? I think the health platform will catch, as Sagarji mentioned. With this COVID situation, there will be a lot of awareness that would need to be sort of, be thought about. If we have a solution that can, Asian Paints already talks about antibacterial, by the way. They have increased their presence on television ads with their new paint, Health Shield, and I'm sure there would be in future many other companies doing that, following that suit. But something beyond that would be like what else? So it's interesting. We are also working in that direction to see if solutions can be offered to the customers. I see some interactions with my R&D colleagues in China. They're already at an advanced stage of, sort of offering some paints that are having capability to eliminate or kill virus. And of course, I asked, out of curiosity, is it now capable of killing coronavirus? So it's not yet. It's too too novel to sort of be able to do that. But this kind of work is going on. I mean, the point that I want to share is these products are not commercially available in India or anywhere except even China. It is a new idea, so it's something that will come up down the line. Because I remember in 2004-05 when we talked about formaldehyde abatement, people ridiculed formaldehyde. Kisko pata hota hai kya? Itna awareness kidhar hai? But today, all said and done, we sell lots of volume of SF240, the formaldehyde abatement and indoor air quality platform across Asia Pacific and EMEA. So in future, new types of paints will come, and each one of us will have to sharpen our sort of focus around innovation. Okay. And okay. So beyond decorative features. Of course, this I mentioned, so I don't have to go through this again. Something which is going to add uniqueness to the product, be it stain resistance or hygiene, low odor, uniform sheen, excellent adhesion to the multiple surface. Now that is another area, but of course it's not an easy task. Like a paint that can go on aluminum, it can go on metal, it can go on wood, everywhere. So without having any loss of adhesion. Reduced number of coats. Yes, if DIY starts appearing, it will have the consequence in the form of reduced number of coats. Talking of exterior coating, we spoke already. So dirt pickup resistance, high durability, good film integrity, anti-algal, fungal, and elastomeric with a good flexibility, and also DPR is an improved primer. So Amit already spoke about it, and we do have our product which is in a form of primal PR30 that is offered in the marketplace, which is sort of meant for greener concrete. Like you can apply the primer as early as soon as the concrete has dried. So therefore, it can give you good efflorescence resistance. These are the strategic theme for tomorrow's paint development. Desire to have good aesthetics, color of the room, increase use of deep tones that could appear. Now, when that happens, obviously it will have to resist so many things like scratching and all those things. So durable matte is where we see a lot of scope for that kind of usage of deep tones. Otherwise, on a deep tone, you just make a nail mark; it leaves behind a line, isn't it? So that should not happen. There is efficiency which is going to dictate a lot of things, reduce labor, preparation, sort of surface preparation, limited time availability with the consumers. We already see T20 के ज़माने में क्यों test match kill रहे and all those advertising being done by large companies. So a lot of automation in terms of application and surface preparation has already happened. Displays the need for other products, use of antimicrobial, enhance the painting experience. Paint companies are looking at, sort of giving comfort to the consumers at the end of the day. So, it will be done quickly without minimum of hassles. They don't have to do anything and worry about the painting process. Health and wellness, we spoke about it. In future might be, the days to come, we have products that can be able to abate bacteria, viral, virus also, of course, with a contact killing, not just in the airborne. Performance, delivering conventional product performance at low VOC, that's one of the need. And improved cost, film performance, appearance, desire for a new feature to attract customer attention. So these are something, obviously, and with the sustainability in mind. So at the end of the day, reduce the carbon footprint, is going to drive. Many companies have got sustainable solutions being used, and they use that as an advantage. I need to mute myself for a second. I had been to Switzerland last year and I got this cuckoo clock. Now it's going to ring for 12. Maybe let it continue, no problem. So as we speak, the change already happened, and there are many companies who have introduced products. Now these are not just India specific, but global. You are talking of zero VOC, odorless, anti-asthma, anti-allergy paint. In Europe, its brand is Earthborn. Okay, I don't know, I can't see the manufacturer name there, but that's a functionality that they have talked about. Bear paints in US, super high washable, high coverage, one coat paint plus primer, Souvenir functionality, low VOC, low odor, antibacterial. So this is a brand that is Latin America. In Asia, you have got DuraClean, low VOC, low odor, water repellent, Solar Guard. So protecting you from UV and dirt pickup resistance with 15 years of warranty, and formaldehyde abatement capabilities, zero VOC by Nippon Paints. In India, we saw Asian Paints introducing Atmos. It didn't move well, but now they have upgraded that to Health Shield. which I haven't captured in this slide, but basically to sort of, improve indoor air quality. Performance interiors, easy clean, super stain resistance, spot free. Now that is with respect to hydrophobic stain and beading effect. Okay, so that's all I had, in terms of my talk. We can open this for question and answer. I can also refer to some of the questions being raised on chat.
Yeah, you can take.
You want to ask any question? Take the questions. How do we go about this?
Yeah, please. Session is open, so our participant can ask questions one by one by raising hands and unmuting themselves. Yeah, Dr. Harish Agrawal-ji. Please.
Yes.
Definitely, we are going to concept that green technology, and second one, they reduce the carbon footprint. In connection with that, we are a small scale enterprises units, and we are very much interested in knowing something about the anti-graffiti coating. So can you give some highlight on anti-graffiti coatings?
Anti-graffiti in the sense, if we are not able to completely, write on it, those kind of waterborne coating solutions are yet to come. But to some extent, we have achieved that in our durable matte concept. Although now I call it as durable matte, we have branded it as InvisiPro for India, and then this will be, basically, I can tell you that this will be a binder which will, be of particle size very high. So it essentially will allow you to sort of, give some kind of cushioning effect and resisting effect to sort of scratching and writing. But it will not completely eliminate and become anti-graffiti. So it's a big challenge to be sort of achieved. Maybe some additives manufacturer other than us have solutions, but I'm not aware of it.
Okay, basically, I think the fluorocarbon chemistry is required in this.
Yeah, possible. Correct.
Yeah.
Sir, we were. Sagarji?
Yeah, please.
Sir, we are seeing the slide that you have some direct to metal coatings, right? Do we have something for automotive sector in this?
In automotive, not, but it is for general industrial, which I'm talking of light to medium duty applications, especially I'm talking of where you don't need extraordinary chemical resistance and salt spray resistance. So that's an area we are focusing on.
Girish, to correct your slide, where 1980 we were already into a high performance exterior coating through Rohm and Haas emulsions.
Okay. In 1980, you mean?
Yes, we started in 82.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, my career started in 90 with Asian Paints. Maybe I'm a little less aware compared to what you are, of course. So beg your pardon for that. So, yeah, but generally, see, when paints were formulated with, and really hats off to you if you had a solution in 1982, that's great. But as I said, really things started happening, which I could see and many of us could see widely somewhere around after 96, 97.
Yeah, that's when Asian entered the market.
Right. But good to know that, sir.
Thank you.
Sir, can you, suggest somebody making these type of binders for direct to metal on automobile sector? Because you see now a lot of companies, in the second, what you call garages and all that, they have the approval of their companies like Mercedes. They're using water-based paints on their cars for the refinishing. So do you have some information on that?
I don't have the information. Neither I'm aware of that we have solutions, what you're mentioning, for automobile. for refinishing, which is water-based. I'll check on this, and specific to your question, if we have any solution, because we are a huge company and there's a lot of information that I don't know, everything. I cannot claim that I know everything, but I'll note down your question and come back to you.
My name is Ranjit Singh, and I'm from Balsons Paint Industries, India.
Okay, I'm just noting it, Ranjit ji.
Yeah, we specialize in automotive coatings and industrial coatings.
Yeah, also, to facilitate sort of something which we can get back to each other fast. In general, my email ID is gbhagwat@dow.com. Feel free to send me a question or any doubt, clarity, which I may not be able to answer today. I'll get back to you.
G Bhagwat?
Yeah, G Bhagwat, no dot, no underscore, nothing. So it's one word, GBHAGWAT @dow.com.
Right. Right. Thank you.
Thank you, Ranjit ji.
Hello,
Girish ji.
Hello.
Yes, please.
Girish, I am Jayesh Parekh here from Hindustan Color.
Hello.
Hello.
Yes.
Sagar ji, can I talk?
Yeah, please. Please go ahead.
गिरीश जी, मैं जयेश पारेख बात कर रहा हूँ हिंदुस्तान करंट केमिकल इंडस्ट्री से। अभी मैंने आई टीम में देखा था कि देयर इज सम सोलर पेंट इज कमिंग, जो सोलर पेंट अपना अंदर की एनर्जी देता है, सोलर एनर्जी अपने को अंदर मिल सकती है।
ओके।
और दूसरा ग्रेनाइट फिनिश पेंट, वो दोनों के लिए थोड़ा आप मेरे को थोड़ा व्यू देंगे तो बहुत अच्छी बात है।
ये जो आपने कही ना बात, आई थिंक beyond binder, something to do with pigment, which we are not manufacturing. Although I'm not aware of this solar paint. So you mean to say, जैसे हम
हाँ जी, सोलर पेंट बाहर लगाने से अपने को अंदर जैसे सोलर पैनल से एनर्जी मिलती है, इसे सोलर पेंट से अपने को यहाँ पे एनर्जी मिलेगी।
तो उसका
IIT people is working for that.
तो उसका कन्वर्जन इवेंचुअली इलेक्ट्रिसिटी में होगा, ऐसा कहना है आपका?
एग्जैक्टली IIT चिल्ड्रन इज वर्किंग ऑन दैट, क्योंकि अभी मेरी वहाँ पे मीटिंग थी तो वहाँ पे वो लोग ने मुझे थोड़ी पैनल दिखाई थी, एंड इट्स रियली समथिंग डिफरेंट। एंड दूसरा ग्रेनाइट, डेफिनेटली ग्रेनाइट फिनिश पेंट इज लाइक पिगमेंट के लिए हो सकता है, बट फिर दिस सोलर इज समथिंग न्यू विल कम इन फ्यूचर। That what I think.
Yes, of course. I think, see, just like we in space of binder and additive manufacture, there's a lot of innovation which is happening on pigments. Which
exactly. So you have any idea for that?
I will have to check and get back to you on this. If there is anything that beyond me within Dow, anyone knows about it, and
yeah, definitely, I will mail you and I will keep in touch with you.
Please,
thanks a lot.
Please.
Thank you, Bhagwat ji. Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Because this question of pigments can be, we can ask on other platforms also. Because pigments also and additives also play a very important role in enhancing the performance of the coatings.
Right.
So this is a very good question, and we will keep in mind for other platforms.
Thank you, Sagar ji.
Yeah.
Thank you, Sagar ji. I'm Jayesh Parekh
Hello.
from Hindustan Color.
Yeah. Anybody else? Yeah.
Hello.
Please. Yeah.
Hello.
Please.
Sagar ji, this is Randeep Singh Bedi from Punjab.
Okay.
Are you listening?
Yes.
मैं ये जानना चाहता हूँ कि हमारे को कोई ऐसी एजेंसी आप सुजेस्ट कर सकते हो जो हमारे एंटी बैक्टीरियल पेंट या एंटी इंसेक्ट पेंट को सर्टिफाई कर पाए?
Okay.
As far as Asian is concerned, Asian is certified only by Indian Medical Association, not by any certified agency of Indian government.
Okay.
So I have anti-insect paint, but how can I certify from an in a government agency that it is anti-insect paint?
Okay.
Use certain chemicals.
Somebody from India to certify that, or even international?
No. This is a small scale unit in India only.
Right, I understand, but the certification could be. I doubt if there is any certified.
Before selling the product, there should be certification.
No, who is selling the product? I don't think anyone.
If I want, I have made a product that is anti-insect paint with using certain chemicals. Now I want to sell this product in the market. before selling this product, it should be certified, or it should not be hazard product. How can I certify this?
See,
How can I?
Randeep ji, if I'm not wrong, currently paint industry is already facing a lot of challenges of insecticide, both to use fungicides and algicides in paint. So I doubt if there is any agency in India to sort of, otherwise this insecticide paint is something on very high radar for many of the paint manufacturers, but they are not able to do this. So I doubt. We are 138 participants today. I don't know if anyone is aware of any agency. I'm not aware of, frankly, which can certify this paint in India.
Yeah, Randeep ji, you can try Shriram Laboratories. Maybe they can guide you.
So I have tried to certain pesticide like testing laboratories, but they are not able to certify it.
I think so, Shriram, or you can talk to the IITs, one of the IITs.
Sir, direct suggestions, sir.
Yeah.
Hello. Sir.
Yeah, Gautam.
Yes, Gautam.
वेकर जो अपनी कंपनी है वो इस तरह से सर्टिफाई करती है सर. एक्चुअली वाटर उनका पुट्टी का मटेरियल लेते हैं वेकर का, तो वो पुट्टी को सर्टिफाई करते हैं जैसा भी इन्होंने बताया. तो जैसा हम आप लोगों को डो का मटेरियल देते हैं, कभी लैब के अंदर मगर इस तरह से अगर हमने मटेरियल बनाया और सर्टिफाई अगर आप लोग कर दो तो कहीं जाने का काम ही नहीं रहेगा ना. जैसे इन्होंने बताया एक सर मिल जाएगा. वेकर वो एक सर्विस प्रोवाइड करती है वो सीमेंट पुट्टी के लिए.
नहीं, जनरली क्या होता है ना सर, ये सर्टिफिकेशन का जो कंसेप्ट है, इट हैज टू बी रिकॉग्नाइज्ड बाय थर्ड पार्टी. सर्टिफिकेशन इज ऑलवेज इम्पोर्टेंट. Like, you know, if I sell my product and, you know, I only certify, I don't know who all will act. So that generally paint companies prefer.
हमने हमारा मटेरियल आपको दिया है.
Hello, Griji. Hello. Griji,
अगर हमने हमारा मटेरियल आपको लैब में दिया है.
Yeah, please ask question one by one. Who's there?
Hello.
Hello.
Griji, this जो बैक्टीरिया फ्री पेंट है, ये जो एशियन ने इंट्रोड्यूस किया है, ये रिकमेंडेड किया है इंडियन मेडिकल एसोसिएशन ने. क्या वह राइट अथॉरिटी है कि इसको मेंशन कर सके कि अप्रूव्ड बाय इंडियन मेडिकल एसोसिएशन?
Yeah, I don't have that expertise, sir. So I really don't know answer to this question.
Right.
It is a hygiene. It comes under the category of hygiene paints. So yeah.
What I feel is, you know, Asian Paints has done something and got the certification. I don't know if others can have that access, but there are several laboratories outside of India as well who can do this. In India, I'm not aware of other than this Indian Medical Association sort of doing this. Or rather, I mean, you may have testing done, but they will not be able to certify that this paint is antibacterial or something. They will give you the data that, okay, this much kill happened. But you should have something, you know, which eventually should lead to certification.
Excuse me to butting, but is insecticide and bacterial side, both of them are different, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, so if he says that Asian Paint got it certified through the medical association, why should Randeep ji not approach them and try to get it? If he's done
of course, I mean, that's something which he can very well do,
yeah, he
check it out for himself.
Exactly, yeah, right. Thank you.
Girish sir, one question from my side.
Yeah.
Hello.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, Girish sir, Hamid Memon here from Gujarat Paints. Sir, do you have the standard formulation for asthma and allergy aware paints?
It's a good question. We do have some start point formulations which are eventually basically talking about zero VOC and minimum solvent emission. It's called as emission free. So we have some start point formulation which we can share. These are based on certain binders that we sell in China and Europe, not currently being sold in India, but you can give it a try.
I'd like to add something to the anti-insect paint that the other gentleman was talking.
Okay.
I'm Rahul Agarwal from Prestige Coating, Kanpur. And as far as the anti-insect paint is concerned, that is absolutely different from antibacterial coating what Asian Paint is selling. That is number one. And as far as the anti-insect paint is concerned, we just should not go ahead with the anti-insect testing done by any random lab. Rather, as far as I have done my searching and all regarding this, I was told that
yeah, Rahul, please go ahead.
If at all, this hazardous part has to be taken care of, other than the anti-insect property of the paint. So, and I think we need to be careful before actually going forward to it, and we need to check into the legislation part for the hazardous effect of the paint, and not just only the antibacterial part of the paint.
Correct. Correct. That's what I was saying. People are finding it difficult to use, the fungicides and algae, which is becoming even more challenging. Let aside insecticide. I mean, you will have to go through a lot of hassles to sort of get this certification.
Hello.
Yeah, Randeep ji.
राहुल जी, एक्चुअली क्या है कि यूके में ये जो केमिकल्स हैं, यूके में एक सर्टन लिमिटेड क्वांटिटी में यूज किए जा रहे हैं जो हैजर्ड्स नहीं हैं, और वहां ये पेंट चल रहा है. तो अगर हम लिमिटेड क्वांटिटी में ये कुछ केमिकल्स यूज करते हैं, दैट इज 0.2 0.02, तो ये हैजर्ड्स कैटेगरी में नहीं आते हैं. इसी की सर्टिफिकेशन इंडिया के लिए चाहता था कि क्या ऐसा इंडिया में भी है? यूके में
as far as I know, there is no agency in India doing any kind of this testing or certification. I might be wrong at my end. I got some agencies outside India who are doing this job, but that's fairly expensive. So I mean, even we were working on it, so we backed off, knowing the consultation and the certification cost.
Girish sir, your contact details not mentioned. Kindly mention in the chat, no? Your mail
I'll do.
number.
Yeah, just now.
Thank you, sir.
गिरीश जी,
Yes, sir.
आपने जो फंक्शनल कोटिंग के बारे में जो बोला था, यानी सॉल्यूशन फॉर पेपर एंड सॉल्यूशन फॉर लेदर, जरा उसके लिए थोड़ा डिटेल में बताएंगे तो बहुत अच्छा होगा. What chemical we use for solution for the paper? Which type of solution?
For paper, actually, we have solutions which goes into sort of paper coating. So binders for paper coating, and Ropec for giving you good printability, etc.
Right. So इनका मुझे मेल जरा डिटेल चाहिए था इनका solution for paper and leather के लिए.
Okay, sure.
I will send you my email ID. I'm Jayesh Parekh, Hindustan Color and Chemical. I will send you my email ID to you.
Thank you, Mr. Jayesh Parekh. And I will request our participants, they can ask 2 more questions. Please.
So I'm trying to write on the chat, but I'm unable to do that.
Okay.
How to do that?
Can you just repeat your email ID?
No problem, sir. You can tell your contact detail. We'll write it down.
Yeah. So yeah, my email ID is gbhagwat, GBHA WAT, gbhagwat @.
Yeah.
@
And your mobile number?
Yeah, mobile number is 982 053 2288.
Sir, could you please repeat it because one number is missing?
Yeah, 982
okay
053 2288.
And the Gmail ID is gbhagwat@.
It's not Gmail, it is DOW, DOW.com.
Thank you.
There is no underscore, there is no dot, nothing. gbhagwat@dow.com, except for the dot coming after DOW.
Yeah, it is on the CAT group also, so anybody can see it from there.
Ah, correct. Sagar ji has such. Thanks, Sagar ji.
We take your permission to, thank you very much, Girish Bhagwat ji, for such a wonderful, presentation.
No, it was my privilege and pleasure doing that. Thank you very much for giving the opportunity. Really appreciate all the governing body of IPCA, Sagar ji, you, and all those who participated. It was really a great experience. First time ever I did this. Yesterday I attended one. I'll make it a point to attend tomorrow and day after as well. So I think it's a great initiative that IPCA took the opportunity of. Thank you very much for doing it.
Thank you, Girish ji. Thank you very much for, giving so much insight about the emerging trends in architectural coatings.
Correct. And all this cannot be in 1 hour. There is a lot of things that may be still unanswered. Please let's keep interacting and connecting, and I'm sure we'll reach our goal.
So